Charlie left her roll call.
Yeah, it's okay. We know it's there. I can run. Are you able to make me the host, Sean? Go to participants. Bottom.
Probably didn't autograph the sign-in sheet.
Go to Ryan Kunitzer. Yeah, okay. Okay.
Call this meeting of the St. John's Fire Commission to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please answer to the roll call. Eric Britton. Present. Leroy Blake. Present. Mary Jones.
Here.
Deborah Lehman.
Present.
Steve Rolando.
Present.
Ike White. Yeah. Bob Wright.
Yeah, he's here.
Yeah. Brooks McGugan.
Here.
Get a motion for approval of the August meeting minutes.
Made a motion.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed. Motion carried. Any public comments this time?
My name is Myra Pinckney, and this is Sarah Frazier. Welcome. And we are here on behalf of St. John's High School Centennial Committee. St. John's is celebrating its 100th year this year, and we are here to let the commissioners know what's going on. We are planning activities that will get the students, the community, the businesses, and everybody together to help St. John's celebrate this momentous occasion. And Ms. Malcolm will tell you a little bit more.
So on that note, we are asking your presence there on September 30th. It's from 10 to 2 at the school. And we are also asking for your support in any way that you can, individually and collectively as units. We would like for units to come out there if they can, because we want to make it informative for the community also. So that maybe a table can be set up, however you do it, for children, you know, so we can get children interest and adults. I spoke to the young man that deals with the smoke detectors.
Yeah, Manti.
He did an awesome job for my church and stuff, and we'd be surprised of people that don't know that they need that in their home. And so maybe, you know, have a table and we can direct them to go and find out how they can have it. So this event is going to be a celebration, but we want to make it informative because we live on this hour. So we want the best for this hour.
Absolutely.
And some of us are alumni from that school, right? So we are asking your support. We're asking you to show up. Come out as our commissioners, just walk around, show your face and talk. I think it will make a difference, you know, for the people coming. And then whatever you can do in your community, to support us individually, tell others, please do that. It's 100 years.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, I don't know how many of us will be around, but like to.
Watch out
You
now.
know, we're really excited about it. We really
Okay.
are. And so if you're asking,
Yes, ma'am.
and
Yep.
we'll be compliant, trying to get things involved and whatever. And there's a number, email there that you can contact us if you have any questions. And Mr. Britton, I think your face is familiar.
I hope so. I've been on the island my whole life, so.
Not on the morning, that's not. Because you really worked with us years ago.
Yes,
When
Cook
it
some
was
barbecue.
running, I think it was.
I've done lots of events out there,
Yeah, I know, so we're looking for you to.
and I didn't even graduate from there. I said I didn't graduate. I said,
No, you-
my older brother got kicked out in 1963, so. The two later ones didn't get to go to St. John's. So.
For alums, friends, family, and friends who are becoming Islanders later on. The community, if you're here, we want you there.
Okay.
Just come out and just have a good time.
Okay.
We like Uncle Sam, we need you.
All right.
So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah.
We would be, you can give them right,
Ramona,
right,
you run up
right to
and
Ramona,
follow.
yeah, and, we would be happy. We would be happy to support, so we will definitely be there, so,
All right.
thank you for coming.
Okay, chief's report.
Yes, if everybody, it is September 11th, today, so if we could take just maybe a brief, moment of silence to think about not just the firefighters, but, kind of everybody that lost their lives on this day. Right there, so thank you. Thank you, everybody. It's good to
Yeah.
sometimes sit with that for just a minute, just to.
Yeah.
just to
And that was
think about where we're at.
343.
Yeah, 343. So, okay, for the chief's report, as a reminder, I know several of you have RSVP'd to myself, but it's kind of part of our larger strategic planning. That meeting is September 18th. That is at 9 a.m. That's going to be at Kiowa Town Hall. That is next Monday. So this will be an external stakeholders. So our strategic plan is driven by the community. So as community members and all of our other stakeholders that kind of touch St. John's, it's important that we gain the community's feedback because that's what's going to drive our strategic plan and what we do for the next 5 years as well too. So I'm hoping you can be a part of that. I know many of you are have RSVP'd for that. So thank you. Hurricane Idalia, we prepared. We over prepared, and then luckily it was kind of just a blip on our radar. So we did have several responses that evening of Idalia for trees down, different items, but all in all, it was kind of a non-event for us, which is good. But it also was gave staff another opportunity to prepare for something potentially larger or more effective. So we had the high water working. It was actually put to work a little bit as well too. So, we also though see that for this event, we had some significant flooding issues for a while and some conversations as we strategically plan also for our needs there as well as regards to high water vehicles for another day. Yes. No damage. The water came up on the front apron, but it did not get into the station at all. So, yep, anywhere in the station. So we're good. I think it was close though. Like another half foot was probably not not great, but no other damage to any of our other stations or equipment or anything like that. So, also want to give credit to B Shift and the crew of Station 2. They were dispatched. I believe this was actually last weekend. They were dispatched to a call for a medical incident on Botany Bay Island, which is actually not really part of our jurisdiction, but there's no resources to really get out there. So they were dispatched for essentially a man who wasn't feeling well, and then they showed up on scene and he was under cardiac arrest. So they actually loaded the boat with Charleston County EMS. We were able to get the patient off the beach and packaged. Unfortunately, I have not heard the patient's status, but I'm going to assume it probably wasn't good because it wasn't good when they offloaded him, but gave us some
well done by our crews. I want to give them credit because they were able to operate that efficiently, and it's kind of a little bit out of their norm as well too. So they did really good, even though maybe the patient outcome wasn't what we wanted. We were the resource that handled that as opposed to anybody else. So other things in the month of August, September, crews also conducted an after action review. We had a fire on Sea Island Estates last month that we did with our response partners. That was very productive. I wanted to give Chief Scott McCullough, our EMS battalion chief, kudos. We hosted on August 18th an active shooter training over at Hayes Park on Johns Island. It had the sheriff's office involved, EMS, several different other people as well too, and he led that. He took that on and led it, coordinated, and we received good feedback on that as well too. So something that I think we've talked about a little bit before here, as well as our need to continually train on that and stay on the front foot with that as well too. So let's see, we were supposed to do a final on the brush truck tomorrow. That's been delayed to the 25th. I think we're on the 25th on that because they had an issue with a part on that. But we also have the 2 engines and ladders still in process. Next week, at the end of the week, we do have personnel heading to Louisiana to do the final inspection and sea trials on the new boat. To get that done as well too, with delivery to follow hopefully shortly thereafter as well too. We're undergoing a significant cleanup project at Station 1 as we get better news on the maintenance facility and things actually happening there. We've just over the years of St. John's have collected some things and stuff, and to put it bluntly, junk. And so we've got some of the crews have actually went there today and helped kind of clean up and throw away some things that we don't necessarily need, like VCRs and stuff like that. And some of the crews at Station 1, 2 have done a lot of work recently to beautify that site a little bit more and get some mulch and do some things like that. So they're working to make that site look a little bit better too. And big one too, I want to give credit to Maurice in our maintenance division. We've had I call it Lake Maybank, but if you ever pull into Station 1 after it rains, there's a pretty significant puddle in I'll call it a puddle. It's a small lake in there, and over time the asphalt's kind of in the concrete's kind of washed away there, and we had some significant holes there, and he worked hard to get those patched up, saving us a whole bunch of money. It's kind of a temporary fix, but he's been keeping an eye on it and working hard. So and Maurice in general has been doing a lot with that open mechanic position too. Maurice has done great. Let's see, we've had 9 personnel complete Fire Instructor 2 this month. That allows us to complete some more live burns and more instructors for that. We've got 4 new acting officers. There were 30 different personnel that were in training classes last month, and our engineer officer exam scheduled for October and November. And we recently completed an EMT class as well too. A couple other big ones. October is Fire Prevention Week, so we do have a big event scheduled at Hot Gap, similar to what we did last year on October 14th. I'd have to get a time for you, but it's usually in the evening on that. But I'm not sure if they've set the actual time yet. But they will have all sorts of equipment, face painters, stuff for kids to do, things like that as well too. All right, Rhonda, would you like to give us a human resources report?
So we currently are sitting at a staff head count of about 124. Still recruiting 4 firefighters to fill those positions. We're looking at the recruitment dates for September 28th and 29th this month. Narrowing down filling the maintenance and training position to hopefully kind of get Marie and the maintenance team to help there. We did have 1 new workers' comp claim last month. 1 cleared and 1 on our medical, 1 on FMLA, and then we had a couple of resignations for the month of August. For the month of September, we do have 1 retiree that has submitted their retirement paperwork. So a total of 3 between August and September leaving the department. Currently in the process of reviewing and implementing some policies here at St. John's to make us better, and preparing for open enrollment at that time is coming up to the 1st, and there are
Thank you. In your, to that, we actually had a meeting, today as well too, to talk about, recruitment, kind of recruitment items, as well as strategies and stuff as too. We talked, briefly last month about, recruit class and things like that. So we've got a meeting set up, the next couple of weeks with, St. Andrews and James Island, similar kind of departments to us that are also, in a crunch as well, to talk about a possible joint recruiting class, and hopefully that may help us kind of attack some of these numbers, call them numbers, that people, they're more than numbers, but to help us to train. We've got for people that aren't certified, we've got a good healthy list of people that want to work here. Just got to get them the class to do it. So stats, they're in your packet. I know Chief Henson was out sick today, but if you have any questions on those, 343 total incidents for last year. We've also included for the last several months as well, too, incident responses by unit. So some incidents obviously require multiple units as well, too. So you can see those on there. And if there's anything specific on the stats, I'm happy to go over them. If not, I'll let you review them. Nothing really out of the ordinary that I haven't discussed already. So last thing I have is we've updated our website. So if you go to stjfd.org, we've got a new healthy refresh, and I think it looks a lot nicer, and we tried to make it as representative as possible of the area. So we got green and trees and stuff, so we tried to kind of incorporate some of that into there as well, and it's a lot more functional. So, okay, I think I'm done. If anybody has any other questions.
Question for the chief?
Yeah, I have one. Chief, on the community training and the fire prevention week program, are you going to put this out some other way other than just on our Facebook page or on?
Yeah, so the school district, we've got a pretty good relationship with the school district. So all of those flyers and newsletters, it all gets inserted into the school districts. The teachers take home packets they send out as well too. And I know they post, last year they posted all over town and stuff for that as well.
Okay.
So make sure it's well advertised. We want people there as well. So make sure it's
The last one you had, got people turn out.
last year was a lot better. I mean, we got stalled by COVID there for a couple of years, but I thought the hot gap, we used to have it at AJ's parking lot, but asphalt, and it's usually hot as well too, even in the middle of October. So we moved it to hot gap. It's a nice grassy area. Right next to it, where we set the display up, is a playground. So it's perfect for people. They can come, fire trucks, all the events, and then they go to the playground. It was pretty well attended last year,
Good,
I'd say.
very good.
And we cooked hot dogs and icy things, I forget, snow cones. Come think of the word. So we have all sorts of different stuff. So it's been a long Monday.
I know you probably have enough food, but I recall we used to have a parade. Has anybody ever mentioned anything about that, or that's just a no-go?
Yeah, we haven't had the parade since I've been here. I know that. I know, and I'm not sure the football, if they're still doing one for homecoming at St. John's, because there are issues with the traffic on Main Road and Maybank. So
I think what I talk about, it used to be a big parade for the entire.
the city does. Yes,
It's start Somerville and.
From Hot Gap to St. John.
Hmm.
We then moved from Hot Gap to Martywood, the cutoff in the Brownwood.
Hmm.
And then now we don't have any. It's, I know, it's not what we're talking about. But I really think it's a shame. That's all I'll go right there, because they're talking about traffic, and traffic gonna be here. That's a done deal.
I recall the St. John's football parade. The sheriff's office essentially saying, and the city saying, the city was permitting, because it's a city property, the city was permitting it. And I could be wrong, but them saying like, we can't do this anymore because of the time of day and travel and all that stuff. So I'm certainly happy to approach to see if they, what that process would be, but it's.
You can have one down King Street.
Yeah, I hear you.
I need to be.
Yeah, I hear you. They do have one that's, it is from downtown that ends in West Ashley as well too. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, financial report. Laura?
Monday.
Monday.
Okay, so in the August, our budget remaining goal is 83.2%. We are at 80.63%. Our base balances for operating ended at 9.5 million. Our outlook is roughly $12,000. The revenue, August collections included a fuel reimbursement that was from a hurricane last year. We got roughly $17,000. We got an AFG grant reimbursement from fiscal year 22. And then we received cash received for the sale of the tent trailer that we sold on company. We also got our wire transfer from Charleston County, roughly $104,000, and that was for July collection. Expenses, non-standard overtime for August was roughly $79,000. And the capital projects base balances collectively, 6.3 million. And so that's for just a couple comments. In 2023, our July collections was $65,000. So 105,000, roughly 105 that we received, looking good. You know, we got a millage increase. So that looks good. Expenditures are almost the same. We have a little more cash this year than we did last year around this time. Same with the bond cash. The non-standard overtime, the chief mentioned some of the issues that is up compared to last year. And ironically, vacation sick bereavement and FMLA pay is actually down year to date compared to last July. And for the month of August, our staff efficiency is 80%. That's all I have, but I will take any questions.
I
Yes,
have
sir.
one question.
Yes.
I don't know what you did before this meeting. But that whole staff of yours, they all come here mean mugging and all. They should be happy.
Are. Oh, I'll add the audit. Last meeting, I told you all that things were really slow with the audit. We didn't know if that was good or bad. Well, it was neither, but September, they have ramped it up and we've been getting, my team and I have been getting several emails to with them the various things that they need. The first draft is due to Charleston County on October 22nd. So we still have time, but we're usually almost done by now. But we still haven't received the tax packet that we from Charleston County that usually comes the last week of September.
They haven't voted on anything yet.
Say it again?
Charleston County hadn't voted on anything yet. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Our attorney is in France on vacation, so don't think we're gonna get an update.
the only thing I talked to them Friday. We had a couple discussions on the Kiowa water, or sorry, the St. John's water things and just some data I have to get from him on just what we're gonna use kind of the new site for as well too. And that's pretty much, it was pretty much it.
Okay. All right. Any old business? On that note, at our last executive meeting, we had a brief discussion about old business might need to be called unfinished business according to Robert's Rules of Orders. So I did some research and found that old business is defined as that business that's already been voted on and the commission wants to revisit it. So that's not something we do very often, if at all. And unfinished business then is what we've been calling old business. Yes. Code red. Oh, severe thunderstorm. Okay. All right, sorry. So, what I would like to do, well, I discussed this with the chief and with Donald. And, we all thought that maybe the proper thing to do is to label this item on the agenda, old business / unfinished business. And if you're all okay with that, I'd like to make that change in next month's agenda. I don't know that we need to vote on it.
It's just a clerical change. It's fine. We can
Yeah,
easy
everybody,
update.
Oh, only because before I took over, there was no real agenda at all. It was kind of hit and miss.
so hearing no objections, and I guess we'll proceed with that next month.
Mhm.
Okay, any new business? Okay, hearing none.
Let me interrupt. just a
Sure.
second. I know the chief has fielded some phone calls, me as well regarding some of our remote areas having a substantial increase in their homeowners policies.
Hmm.
Would a procedural change for response assist these people? I mean, they really getting hammered, you know, almost go to a rural, type response with, bring our own water, use existing ponds, that sort of thing without.
Yeah, so just a little background. We have our ISO rating, which we have a split rating because of no water on Wamala. So it's 2/2Y, which is the old essentially 8. That's what it is. Well, the 2 on John's Island, the 2 only comes in, you only get rated a 2 if you're within 5 miles of a fire station and 1,000 feet of a fire hydrant. If you're not, you're at the mercy of the insurance company of what they want to rate you. I've seen 8, I've seen 9, I've seen 10. With the water infrastructure on John's Island, it's at the mercy of what's kind of already been put in place. So we do have, especially, we've been fielding these calls for years, but it's picked up in the last year, I think, particularly because of Hurricane Ian, and coastal properties are getting reevaluated by insurers kind of at a hot and heavy pace here pretty quick, because we do, I'm sure Christy can tell you, we get several phone calls of from insurance people looking for information as well too. So there isn't much we can do besides building a lot of fire stations, but that doesn't solve the water problem. And we have no control over that unless they want to privately run a hydrant to their home. Sounds costly, you know, and it's case by case basis if they actually have a water source that's acceptable by ISO standards as well too. I'm gonna guess most people don't have ponds, some do, some don't. So we've worked with a lot of people as well too to put in dry hydrants. There was one on Wamala last year, 2 years ago, that they came to us and said, hey, we want to put in a dry hydrant. You're more than welcome to use it. They were really doing it probably for insurance purposes, but they've let us use it as much as possible. We are a little, as the district itself, as the fire district, we're not in many position to change. There's nothing we could do response wise change that would make an insurance company change that, is my view on it. Now, I've argued to insurance companies before that, hey, this is the amount of water we can put on scene within such a time frame. Again, each insurance company does it differently. So there's no set.
Sadly enough, the hurricanes have pretty well dictated what the insurance company's gonna do, but they've lost so much money, they're gonna recover.
And that's not just a rural problem.
Yeah.
The insurance has gone up thousands of dollars, and we have a lot of condos that are for sale.
Yeah. So it hits a lot of the people that maybe their insurance company hasn't really evaluated them in 10 years. Hey, I've been with this agent for forever. Great. And then all of a sudden they come and say, oh, we're doing an evaluation. Oh, turns out you're not near a fire hydrant, and they get hit hard by that. you know, we do is we provide as much information as possible for the insurance company to make their decision, but ultimately that can't, you know, we can't do much about it. We're at their kind of their mercy. So
Far from a fire hydrant and live on an island. Tell me what the insurance company gonna think. Yeah,
More money.
more money.
but it's a frequent, very frequent thing. So yeah.
Panama City, the same thing.
Thank you, Chief.
Yep.
All right. Committee reports, building committee. We met, last Tuesday, September 5th, with the, contractor Choate, who's, building the maintenance facility out here on Main Road, and work has finally begun at that site. It'll be site work for the first 3 or 4 weeks until they get finished with the fencing and the digging a retention pond and excavating some buried trash that was found on the site for soil borings. Clearing the weeds and the dirt pile and the blacktop and the old building foundations, that sort of thing. So once that's done, then they can start erecting the building. And our next meeting is scheduled for October the 3rd at 3 o'clock. It's a Tuesday. And we have no further movement this month on Kiowa River. That's it for the building committee. Any questions on that? Finance committee?
Haven't had a 20 year. We will have. Report daughter report to Charleston, but that's due October 27th. And we will have a bond meeting at some point.
Yes, Ramon and I discussed that today about the likelihood we'll probably need a finance committee meeting to discuss a couple things related to bond issuance before we kind of have that meeting too, because well, next couple of weeks are busy. No, next couple of weeks are busy, but maybe after the first of the month. I guess we're not in a rush for the bond issuance. Early October. Good.
Okay, human resources.
We have not had a meeting. However, Chief Goodletser has mentioned we would like to discuss a few items, so we will schedule.
Strategic planning.
We did have a meeting, but again, I will remind you what the chief went to earlier, September 18th, 9 a.m. at the Kiowa Town Hall. We'll start the major plan.
Any firefighter comments? Commissioner comments. Start with Ike.
Yes, I would like to give thanks to Ramona and her team. Each time we have a meeting, they'll come out here for the point information. Thank you. Also to station personnel on that call up there. I've been on the station through many times and station up there and actually having a call where they had that, getting on board, going over to the MS. Hey, a whole lot been going on. If you haven't experienced that, and then find out the full rest when you get there. So hats off to that crew and tell them thank you. And to the chief of the Apple Europe, we do need to train on that. It's kind of hard to send your kids to school, the family to school. You don't know what's about to happen. So it's good to have personnel at the school and then police officer to have some type of training along that line. So I appreciate him putting that on and good feedback that we received. You know, to all other personnel, stay safe. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Brooks.
I want to commend the training division. That call over on Botany looked like it went smooth. People were able to think, put things together, and get the job done. So kudos to training and keep it up. We appreciate it.
Mary.
Okay, to Chief and the entire staff here at headquarters and everybody's involved. I want to thank each and every one of you for a job well done. Thank you.
Leroy?
Ditto on everything everyone else said.
That's okay.
I really appreciate training. Being a former safety officer, knowing that training is the key to great performance. So keep the good training up. Thank you, sir. That's it.
Bob?
I'd just like to remind everybody, 9/11, what the firemen in New York did. We appreciate all of our firefighters because we know that they have the same courage that the New York City Fire Department did. And just stay safe.
Deb?
I just think we need to thank the district, all the firefighters. St. John's Fire District. And to be proud of it.
Steve?
Ditto on everything. Also, thanks to everyone in the district for being so professional. I've gotten several comments about response and how professional, compassionate, caring our personnel are. So thank you very much.
Well, I think everything's pretty well been said. I do appreciate what training's done. It's come a long ways. And just want to thank everybody. And if I see that group from finance wandering around in the parking lot and they all mean mugging, I might zip in there and bump them with the truck.
Usually really nice. They're usually really nice to you. So I don't know what you did.
I don't know, but they all are.
Can I add something? I need to add one other thing I missed.
Sure.
I want you to thank Maurice. Cause you know, Maurice behind the scene, you don't see him much. But maintenance continues on as we get mechanics in and mechanics out. And then Maurice is a picture there. So Chief, please tell him thank you
Yes.
for his hard work.
Yep.
Cause the trucks, you know, if he just got to go in and change a fuse or something, you need something, a ice run, you need something at the station. Maurice, since I've been there, Maurice, he'll come to your aid. If you need something, he'll get in that truck and bring it to you. So I just shake your hand for me. I appreciate that.
Good point.
Thank you.
Good, that's good. All right. I totally agree with everything that's been said and I really can't follow any of that.
I do have one item. Sure. It can be quick for executive session.
Oh.
We can stay in here too, and we'll just,
All right.
the staff can depart and just
So-
be very quick.
So, all right, so
For personnel
we
matter.
need a motion to go to executive session to discuss personnel.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Bob, if you want to stay on here real quick, we'll just do it right here.
Okay.
Real fast, so that way we don't have
All
to.
right. So we're
Thank
go to executive session. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. Happy meeting.
Ramona,
Just, yeah, I would just end the live.
can you run a couple
Oh,
of copies?
okay,
off
sorry.
so we can pass them to all?
Hold on, everybody.